Man, it's been a long while since I've stepped foot into a gym. Probably since my missus was about 30 weeks pregnant. I reckon I stopped going to the gym there. Now my boy's 3 months old, so you can, what's that? Reckon 5 months, 6 months, something like that, something in that ballpark. It's been a long time. And I didn't go to the gym today just for the sake of going to the gym. I went there with a purpose. I enjoy my garage twice as much as I would ever enjoy the gym. Something about the serenity of a freaking garage, as crazy as that sounds, it's basically the only peace and quiet that I get, in my life. Working in the emergency department, having young kids, it's always, go, go, go. So one time that I can have peace of mind is when I'm in the garage doing my thing, and I love it. But today I went to the gym for a reason. I woke up and I had this thought. I watched a bunch of videos last night of me like 3 years ago. And back then, lots of different thoughts at lots of different periods. But around day 460, something like that, I reckon there was a video that I made where I went to the gym for the first time in the Squat Everyday series. I reckon it was video 460. And there I talked about how good the GHD was. And as I was watching that video, man, like my mind lit up and I was like, man, it's been such a long time since I've done any of that. And I remember, and I spoke about it in that video, I was hot on. I was hot on the GHD, the Glute Ham Developer. I was hot on the 45 Hyper. And basically I was in two minds for several weeks there of which one to get for my home. I ended up building some sort of like makeshift type thing at home with all those blocks that I had and freaking jerry can and all sorts of things. I made myself a GHD, but it wasn't ever the same. It was hard to work with, and eventually like the hassle of setting all that crap up outweighed the benefits in my mind, and I stopped it. But now I'm kind of back in that thought, and I seriously think it's a damn crime that I don't have a GHD or a 45 Hyper. Now, a GHD, I think feels a little bit better to me, but it's so freaking humongous. It's a huge piece of machinery, and it will freaking eat up a lot of space in my garage. So people that work out in a single car garage, we don't have a lot of space, right? So I'm gonna, over the next few days, think about it really well, whether a 45 Hyper or a GHD, but I definitely need one of these things at home, because out of all the things that you can do for your back, I think this thing is like doing push-ups for the chest. It brings lots of volume, lots of blood into the system, and it makes me feel good. And once that whole back pump passes away, so I did 10 sets of 20 before I got to the barbell today, and my back was freaking on fire, man. Like I could hardly walk down the stairs where this thing was to get to the squat rack. But I gave it a good 20 minutes, messing around with the bar. Started with the overhead squats. I messed around a little bit, and once that passed away, I started to feel really good. So much so that after I finished with the overhead squats, messing around with that, I worked up to 180 kilo front squat. Now, weights in the gym, for whatever reason, have always felt lighter to me, and not just by a little bit, by a lot. So it seems like, this is going to sound crazy, it's probably not that bad, but I feel like 20 kilo difference. Now, clearly, the calibration of these plates are not off by freaking 20 kilos, because I'm not lifting 50 tons. I'm lifting, 180 kilos today is what I got. So it's not 20 kilos. So clearly there's other elements to it. Maybe my adrenaline releases a little bit more because there's people in the gym, there's eyes on me, there's music playing, there's all sorts of things happening. And maybe I get a little bit more roused and the weights feel a little bit better. I don't know. But it definitely feels better. And I keep thinking to myself, if you were to go to the gym every single day, or obviously that effect will probably, decline, will decrease over the course, because you're used to it. It's like any other drug. It's any other stimulus. The more you expose yourself to a particular stimulus, the less impact that stimulus has on you. It's just the way it is. That's how biology is. So after 6 months of not going to the gym, I step there, and obviously, if you can squat any decent amount of weight, the general population, 99% of the people in the freaking gym you're going to see, especially in the commercial gyms, can't front squat 180 kilos. And so when you start to kind of load up some of this weight, everyone starts to watch you. And then obviously there's intrinsic mechanisms in your body that go, oh yeah, this is pretty good. You know, we kind of feel important or whatever. Now I'm 35 years old. I'm not a 20-year-old fella. So I'm less kind of, I'm kind of blunted to these effects of caring what other people think. But even at 35, I'm kind of like, oh, that kind of feels all right, you know. It kind of feels all right to kind of be important or to be one of the best lifters in the gym. So maybe that has an impact on how I perform. Maybe I wouldn't even try 180 at home today. You know, I've been back and forth over the course of the journey. I've spent, I want to say, probably 90%, if not 95% of my training at home. So the periods that I've had where I've gone to the gym, they've always kind of felt special. And now that I think about it, the majority of my PRs, that's for squats and deadlifts, have been at the gym. Bench press, obviously, the last 2 months have been crazy at home. And, you know, you could probably think to yourself, what could I have done in the gym if I did bench press in the gym? So it's definitely an factor. But I mean, it's hard. You know, for me, I don't go to the gym because, you know, I love it. It's always with a purpose. It's with a mission. And over the course of the last 3 months, since my boy has been kind of born and came into this world, it's not that, you know, my wife doesn't let me or some freaking thing like this. It's, you know, she said to me, go to the gym, go to the gym, go to the gym. And I always think to myself, like, you know, even today, you know, I can't do exactly what I want to do. It's a commercial gym. I can't drop the damn weights. You know, I didn't do power clean today because I don't want to drop the weights on the floor. So if that had some sort of a crash mat or things like that, then I'd feel better to do that. But a lot of times when I go to the gym, I kind of, change the way I train, and I don't like that. At home, I can just, there's no thoughts. Like, I don't care about anyone else. It's just me. But if I spend, you know, an hour in the squat rack, I'm like, part of me is thinking to myself, okay, this is a long time. You know, there's other people that need to use this equipment. So those thoughts, I don't like those thoughts, because gyms are running a damn business. You know, they don't want somebody freaking hogging the damn machine for an hour. So all of those types of thoughts, you know, rolled up into one makes me feel a lot better at home training, because I can be in my squat rack, I can curl in the squat rack, I can do whatever the hell I want in the squat rack. So it's all of those factors. But today, went to the gym for the GHD. And I love the GHD. I really do. It makes me feel special. I got a glute pump, hamstring pump, lower back pump. In some of those sets, I was trying to look up, so I felt like my upper back, you know, like the upper erectors, rhomboids, felt them. Obviously, the calves a little bit as well, because you're pressing onto the plate. So it's like the ultimate freaking, it's the ultimate, exercise. And I feel like it doesn't cost that much because there's no axial loading. When you are deadlifting, this is what went to my mind. I thought to myself, why don't I just stay home and do some deadlifts, like, 100 kilos for sets of 20 or something. The thing with that is, it's not the same. The deadlift incorporates a lot more musculature, and there's a bit of a push and then a pull component to it. I don't want to push. I want to push in the squat. I don't want to pull in this. I'm not going to be, pushing in the deadlift and then pushing in the squat. I don't want to do that. So I think this is one of the reasons why GHDs and 45 hypers, and I guess hamstring curls in general, feel really good before squats, is because there's no pushing component to it. So when you do the GHD, you light up everything in the back here, and then you come to the squats, and then like your pushing muscles are fully there, fully rested, whereas the posterior stuff is a little bit kind of taking a hit. And if you're a posterior chain dominant lifter like me, I want to lean on everything, man. If I could lean on the damn bench press, I'd probably lean there as well. So if you're like me, you'll probably think to yourself, what if I fatigue the posterior chain? Maybe the nervous system is going to be like, oh, okay, we're not going to go there today because everything's fatigued and this weight's got to move somehow. And so then you start to access some of that anterior chain stuff, mainly the quads, right? And maybe this is why, today 180 went. Maybe that's another element. Who knows, there's a million variables, but that kind of crossed my mind as well. Like The front squat felt really good. Maybe it's because of the GHD. Maybe it's not all the other factors, the mental stuff that I talked about. Maybe it's just simply because I did the GHD for 200 damn reps and my hamstrings and glutes were like a little bit tired. So maybe there was a bit of a bias neurologically, or the CNS was like, okay, let's bias the quads more. And then when you do that, you end up being more upright, and which favors you a bit more, and then you end up lifting more weight. So it's weird how like there's so many different elements to it. It could be one thing, could be another, could be a combination of all of these things. But I think the mission for me now has been reignited after 2 damn years, maybe even 3 years. Some of these thoughts that I had once, I think I'm gonna head to it. Like I don't buy a lot of equipment. I'm a minimalist when it comes to that as well, simply because I don't like clutter. I feel like the garage is already getting cluttered already. If I put a GHD, man, my lord, it's another thing to freaking walk around, and that pisses me off. And I truly believe the less things you own, the happier you will be. I've experienced, many times evidence to support this idea. The less clutter, the less things you own, the less things in your life, physical, materialistic things you have in your life, the happier you will be. And you might not believe me when I say that, but I truly believe that. And for anyone out there that has tested that out for themselves, they will understand. But anyway, maybe the GHD needs to enter my life somehow. I think it'll be good. And I've given it 3 damn years thinking about it. So I think I've done my homework. All right, guys. Appreciate you guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.